Урок англійської мови для 11 класу. Життя, молоді та засоби спілкування. Вчитель англійської мови Одеського ліцею Приморський. Коваль Руслана Миколаївна. Hello, dear students. Welcome to our English lesson. I'm sure you are very interested in what we are going to talk about today. Look at the photos. Being a teenager is fantastic. You are young, you are free to do whatever you want, and above all, you've got your entire life in front of you. These are the things you'll probably never feel ever again, or at least not all three things at the same time. What does it mean to be a teenager nowadays? It means being with friends, having lots of hobbies and occupations, being fond of music, experiencing everything for the first time, having much homework, taking a lot of exams, worrying about looks and clothes, facing many challenges. One of the problems that teenagers face is misunderstanding between them and grown-ups. This problem is called a generation gap. Parents usually complain about their children's studying, makeup and fashion, bad manners, mistrust, failing in responsibilities, misbehavior, alcohol and drug addiction, aggressiveness and cruelty, peer pressure. Now we are going to hear a story of a teenage girl about her problems with parents. Before listening, let's translate some words and phrases. Folks, батьки. To get dog-headed – сказитися. To bug asking – докучати, запитуючи. Listen to the recording and choose the correct answer.
Recording 5. My parents love me, they feed me, and work to keep a roof over my head. But sometimes they feel more like strangers. I can't put up with the way they treat me like a child anymore. There is a huge lack of understanding between us. They never listen to my point of view and think they know what's best for me. I understand that they don't want me to grow up, but I really wish they would give me more space to do what I want to do. They complain about my school results, about how much work I should do. Last summer, I wanted a Saturday job, but they ordered me to stay at home and study for exams while all my peers that I knew already worked. Why won't my mom and dad let me try? Do they really think that allowance I get from them is enough? We disagree not only about money, but also home chores, food, clothes, and even the way to spend my day off. Every time I go out with my friends, they start to get cross and bug me, asking who I am going with and where we are going. Once, I asked if I could go to a party on Saturday night, which finished at 11:30 p.m. Conservatives as they were, my parents agreed, but on the condition that my dad came to pick me up at 10 p.m. I argued and argued about it, but in the end, I had to agree. I knew I was going to be really embarrassed when my father came to pick me up, so I spent the whole party worrying. I didn't speak to my parents for 3 days after that. My mother tried to explain how they both felt, but I didn't want to listen. It was then that I decided to break the rules they had set down. I somehow felt that if I did it, they would realize that I was old enough to look after myself and leave me alone. I tried to provoke them, dyed my hair dark blue, and covered my face in makeup before leaving for school. Instead of coming home at 10 p.m., I would arrive at 11 p.m. and then refuse to tell them where I had been. I kept silent, and the folks became strict and firm. But the more they tried to keep me in the house, the more dog-headed I became. And the more I sneaked out, so the rows got even worse. Finally, One Saturday night, I didn't come home till 2 a.m. My father wanted to know why I was so late. I refused to tell him. We had a huge argument which ended with me getting a taxi to my sister's house. What went wrong?
Now look at the correct answers and check yourself. Here is the text completed with the words from the box. You can check yourself again. So ask yourself, who can help you to overcome difficulties? Families, parents, play a significant role in teens' lives. It is important when love, care, respect, understanding, patience are basic points in bringing up the children. Now, let's watch a video.
What is communication? Communication is the successful conveying or sharing of ideas and feelings. It is about imparting or exchanging of information by speaking, writing, or using some other medium. In our generation today, we have a lot of ways on how to communicate with other people. We have technology that we are using in our everyday lives. Every day we talk, we listen, we chat, and we read letters which forms words that may create an impact on each one of us. Now let's talk about the forms of communication. First thing is the most common of all, verbal communication, which includes sounds, words, language and speaking. There are many languages spoken in the world, and there are a lot of ways as well for us to understand each other. You come across people from various ages, cultures and races. Not fluent? No problem. In communication, self-confidence plays a vital role which when clubbed with fluent communication skills can lead to success. The second form of communication is the non-verbal communication. It involves physical ways of communication like tone of the voice, touch, smell, and body motion. Body language is a non-verbal way of communication. Body posture and physical contact convey a lot of information. Physical contact like shaking hands, pushing, patting and touching expresses the feeling of intimacy. Facial expressions, gestures and eye contact are all different ways of communication. Reading facial expressions can help you know a person better. The third form of communication is the written communication. Written communication is the writing or composing of words which you want to communicate. Good written communication is essential for business purposes. It is also practiced in many different languages. Emails, reports, articles, and mobile SMS are some of the examples of informal written communication. In addition, the fourth form of communication is the visual communication. It is a visual presentation of information like photography, signs, typography, symbols and designs. Television and video clips are the electronic form of visual communication. Visual communication is somehow similar to non-verbal communication, but visual communication involves more onto sight. What are the effective ways for communication? Be direct to the point with your message. Don't use complicated sentences and words. Be free to express yourself. Don't be afraid to express what you feel, but still using nice intonation and respectful words. Use visuals to add further meaning to your message. Be focused when delivering your ideas. Don't get distracted when conveying your message. Be not a speaker alone but also a listener. Remember, communication is a two-way process and that both parties must be able to convey and receive the message. Now imagine our world without communication. Do you think everything will still be the same? Live your life while you can. Be one of the healthiest person you know. Express your thoughts, inspire others, have confidence, and let the world know what you have in mind.
Nowadays, a great number of teenagers in the world use social networking sites for communication. I am absolutely sure that you use these sites for chatting with your friends, downloading photos and pictures, sharing the news, listening to the music, and doing many other things. You follow world-famous personalities on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. You read the posts of celebrities on Facebook and Twitter. You exchange photos and short videos on WhatsApp, Instagram, and Snapchat. One of the sites that many of you use is Facebook. Ask yourself, how many friends have you got on Facebook? Do you know what the friend limit on Facebook is? Read this text quickly and tell, why was Ivy Bean famous? Ivy Bean was famous for being the oldest Facebook user at the age of 102. Read the text again and find these numbers. What did they refer to? You can look at the right answers. Your home task is to write an informal letter. Imagine you have a younger brother or sister. You are very close and trust each other a lot. He or she is already in his/her teens, and it is time to become responsible for his/her life. Write a letter to him or her with your thoughts on this subject. Thank you for attention and goodbye.